Happy and energetic day, dear children. I welcome you all to the English corner. Children, what we are going to learn is, come on, guess. Yes, it is Expert Detectives Part 2. Part 1 you saw already, and we are now going to see Part 2 of Expert Detectives. Shall we? Yes. I wrote in large block letters, catching a crook. Who are the characters in that story? Just to have a recap. Okay. Expert detectives are Nishad and Maya Pandit. Who appointed? By appointment to the whole world. They appointed themselves as the expert detectives. Now Maya is writing. Then I began writing. About half an hour later, I turned towards Seven, who was lying on his tummy, chin cupped his arms, reading comics. Want to hear what I have written? I asked. So now who wrote? Maya wrote some points. Now who has to hear now? Nishad has to hear. Right. He looked questioningly. Now see here how he's lying on the bed. Right. He looked up questioningly. I have listed all the facts we know about Mr. Nath, which might help us to trap him, I said. Do you want to hear? Who asked? Maya asked. Seven nodded. Yes. Seven nodded his head. Fact number 1. I read his name. His name is Mr. Nath. We must discover his first name. Do you think that's his real name, Maya? Nishad asked. Probably not, I said. Most crooks have an alias name. I added a big question mark after Nath. So, the name itself is a thing to be detected. Okay, is his name really Mr. Nath, or is he have any other name? Is he has any other name? Now, fact number 2. I read on. The tenants at Shankar house say he's mad, strange, and unfriendly. Okay. So, fact number 1 is his name Mr. Nath. And fact number 2 is, I read on, the tenants at Shankar house say he's mad, strange, and unfriendly. So, number 3, he doesn't talk to anyone and is mannerless. Who decided all these? All these are the clues that they got from observation. But he did talk to us. Maya and Mama says he's very polite, Nishad interrupted. He only talked to us because he had to, I said. And since he was under Mama's medical treatment, he had to be polite. But tenants of Shankar's house said that he will not talk to anybody. But Mr. Nath talked to these two kids. That Maya and Mama says he's very polite. So now Nishad interrupted. He only talked to us because he had to talk to us. That is the reason. Since he was under Mama's medical treatment, he had to be polite. That is the reason he was talking to us alone. Now, fact number 4. He doesn't receive any letters. Right? Fact number 4 is he doesn't receive any letters. Yes, 7 nodded. Fact number 5. He has been living in room number 10 of Shankar's house for more than a year. How many months? More than a year. More than 12 months he was living in that room. Room number 10. Right? Now, what? Number 6. He doesn't work and sits in his room all day. That is ridiculous. Really, it is shocking to hear that he is not working and he is sitting for the whole year, whole day in the sense whole year. So number 7, the kids in Shankar's house and even some of the grown-ups are scared of him. And how he's getting money to eat. Right? So all these are the things that Maya wrote in her diary. And Nishad was hearing all this. Number 8, he has no visitors except for a spectacled, fair, fat man who visits him on Sundays. Sundays alone he used to visit, that too for lunch. Okay. He has no visitors except only one person. He was fair, fat and spectacled. Right? Any doubts, dear? Right. Number 9, point number 9. Food and tea are taken to his room by Ramesh from a restaurant downwards. He doesn't care what he eats. He pays his bill immediately. And tips also he will pay well. That ends my list. Have I forgotten anything, 7? So Maya had 9 points. How many points? 9 points. Right? Starting from his name till he pays the bill. Nishad had obviously not been paying too much of attention to my list of facts. So Maya is considering himself. Nishad is not at all taking too much of attention to my list. All he could say was, poor man. Maya, he must be so lonely if he doesn't have any friend. How can a crook have friends, idiot? I almost shouted. Who shouted? Maya shouted to Nishad. Okay, because Nishad always says that he was a poor man. Now at least he has one friend, the one who meets him on Sundays, said Nishad. So he's not at all having any friends. So Nishad at that time he said, so at least one friend is there, no? He's coming on Sundays. Then why? What is the problem for you? A brilliant thought occurred to me just then. What is that brilliant thought? That man must be Mr. North's accomplice in crime. So a companion in crime. So maybe there are chances. This is Maya's idea. Right? On that spot, he said, who said? Nishad said that at least one friend is there. That too he is coming on Sundays. After he said these words, Maya had a thought that, okay, Mr. North's accomplice may be that man who is visiting on Sundays. Maybe he keeps all the loot and he comes now and then to give part of it to his partner, Mr. North, for expenses. That's it. I am sure I am right. So Maya concluded, she concluded that the person who is visiting Mr. North's room was a criminal, and the money he looted, he is coming and giving to Mr. North often, right? A part of it to his partner. So that's it. I'm sure I'm right, she said to herself. If you insist on calling him a criminal, I don't think I want to discuss anything with you, Maya. So now Nishad got irritated. If you are always saying him as criminal, then I am not coming to discuss with you anything, said Nishad angrily. He can't be such a bad man if he gives Ramesh such generous tips. He is paying a restaurant bill for food, and he is giving tips also. Then how can he be a criminal? Do you think criminal be generous? Because Ramesh is getting nice tips, generous tips from Mr. Nath. Then how can you say that he is a criminal? This was Nishad's question. Now, Ramesh probably knows something about his past. So, Mr. Nath should be bribing him to keep quiet, I said. Maybe there are chances that Mr. Ramesh knows something about Nath, right? So, to keep him quiet, to make him to keep quiet, Mr. Nath is giving money as bribe, right? Not to say anything about him or that crime. So this was an imagination by Maya. Nishad glared at me with his arms tightly crossed across his chest. So crossed across his chest is holding his hand like this. I was beginning to get fed up with him. Right? Nishad glared at me with his arms tightly crossed across his chest. That means Nishad doesn't like this idea, and he doesn't like the words Maya said. I was beginning to get fed up with him. How can we make any progress with our investigation if you take that attitude, 7? I asked. So, if you are in the progress of doing something, investigation, you should take out an attitude that he was not a criminal. You have to think that he is a criminal, or you have to go in a proper path. Then only you can find out the criminal, right? You can be a good detective. That is what is investigation. Always you are deciding and you are saying he is not a criminal, then what is the use of investigation? 7. Maya asked all these questions to Nishad. Now, I will cooperate only if you give up this idea about being an escaped crook, said 7. You really make me angry. Maya's words. I will cooperate with you. So, Nishad is saying, I will cooperate with you if you give up this idea. Which idea? That Mr. Nath was a criminal, Mr. Nath was a crook. That idea was there with Maya. If you give up that idea, then I will help you out. By hearing these words, Maya get very angry, really very angry. I almost hit him. I make you angry. You stupid. Oof, I shouted. You make me mad. What is the point of all these enquiries if he's not a crook? If he is not a criminal, then what is the use of inquiring about him all the time? Right? If you think he is nobody, then what is the idea of bothering about him? Please tell me. Maya is asking all these questions to Nishad. I almost hit him. I make you angry, you stupid. Oof, I shouted. Who shouted? Maya shouted. Make me mad. What is the point of all these enquiries if he's not a crook? If you think he's a nobody, what is the idea of bothering about him? Please tell me. Now, Nishad looked thoughtful. Now he was really thinking. So his sister is very angry. This made him think. Nishad looked thoughtful. I would like to find out why he is so thin and why he is so lonely. I want to know why he doesn't have any friends. I want to know why he lives alone. Only these are the questions for Nishad, right? Children will always think positive. So Nishad is also looking in a positive side. He wants to know why he is so thin, whether he is very poor or he doesn't have money or any problem, health problems, all that. Why he is so lonely, why I want to know why he doesn't have any friends and why he is living alone. So children, we'll see in the next session.